We will do chapter 7 of science class 10. How do organisms reproduce or reproduction? The term for creating new life from existing life is called reproduction. Its significance lies in the replacing deceased organism, ensuring the continuity of life on earth. There are two types of reproduction. Number one, sexual reproduction. Number two, asexual reproduction. DNA or deoxyribonucleic acid is the molecule that carries the genetic instruction for life. It is found in the cell of all living organisms and is responsible for passing traits from one generation to the next generation. DNA is like a blueprint that determines everything about the organism, from how it looks to how it functions. Significance of DNA replication. It preserves body structure, it facilitates the inheritance of traits, it introduces diversity during the DNA replication process. Signification of variation. Essential for evolutionary processes. It enables adaptation to changing environment. It contributes to the resilience and survival of population. Asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is a type of reproduction where a single organism produces offspring that are genetically identical to itself. This process does not involve the fusion of gametes, sperm or egg, and the offspring are exact copies of the parent. Number 1. Fission. A unicellular organism such as bacteria undergo division into two or more organisms, generally categorized into two types. These processes involve binary fission and multiple fission. Number 2. Binary fission. It involves the splitting of an organism into two new organisms under specific conditions. Binary fission in amoeba. Initially, the nucleus undergoes division into two, followed by the division of the cytoplasm. Ultimately, the parent cell split into two daughter cells. Multiple fission. Multiple fission involve the parent organism dividing into numerous identical daughter organisms simultaneously. This reproductive mechanism is observed in certain organisms, including Plasmodium, the malarial parasite. Fragmentation. In fragmentation, an organism breaks into two or more pieces, and each species grows into a new, complete organism. These processes common in organisms like starfish, flatworms, and some type of algae. Each fragment develops into independent organism that is genetically identical to the parent. Examples are algae undergo maturation and subsequently break into two or more small fragments. Each of these fragments then grow independently, eventually developing into a complete new organism. Budding. In the process of budding, small outgrowths called buds emerge from the body of the parent organism. These buds eventually detach and give rise to new organism. Examples include hydra and yeast. Hydra is a simple multicellular organism reproduced asexually through budding utilizing regenerative cells. Number 2. Initiation involve a small bud forming one side through simple mitotic division. The bud matures, developing a mouth and tentacles. Ultimately, the new hydra detaches from the parent body to the live interdependently as a single or singular organism. Vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation involves obtaining new plant from the portion of an old plant without the involvement of reproductive structure. Typically, these process centers on the growth and development of the single bud on an existing plant part to give rise to a new plant. Example includes potato buds, onion buds, leaf buds of the bougainvillea, and the dahlia roots. This method is a form of natural propagation. Artificial method of vegetative propagation are techniques used by humans to grow new plant from the part of the existing plant. Common artificial method includes Number 1. Cutting. Number 2. Grafting. Number 3. Layering. Cutting. A part of the plant, usually a stem or leaf, is cut and planted in soil or water. Usually it develops roots, grow into a new plant. Example, rose. Number 2. Grafting. A branch from one plant is attached to the stem of the other plant in such a way that they grow together and develop into a single plant. This is commonly used in fruits like apples and mangoes. Number 3, layering. In this method, a branch of the plant is bent down and covered with soil where it develops roots. Once rooted, the branch is cut from the parent plant and grow independently. Example, jasmine. Advantages of artificial plant propagation. It ensures that new plant inherit precisely the desired characteristics of the parent. It requires less attention for the growth of plant propagated through process. Allows the generation of multiple plants from the same parent, increasing efficiency and productivity. Tissue culture. Tissue culture generates new plant from small pieces of the plant tissue or cell taken from a growing plant. This tissue is then cultivated under suitable condition. Advantage of tissue culture: rapid plant growth characterizes tissue culture, making it quick technique. Number 2, plant produced through tissue culture are free from disease. It results in many plants in a short period, typically weeks and require minimal space for growth. Regeneration is the reconstruction of the complete organism from a specific body part. Challenges in complex multicellular organism. Regeneration is viable in organisms with simple body structures than cellular organization. In complex multicellular organisms, cells assemble into tissues into organs, and organs into organ system, and ultimately organ system constitute the entire organism. The intricate hierarchy of organization in complex multicellular organism hinders the formation of complete individual from a cultured body part. Spore formation. In spore formation, a plant parent generate numerous microscopic reproductive units known as spores. Upon bursting the plant's spore case, these spores disappear in the air. Subsequently, airborne spores settle on the soil, and under favorable condition, they initiate germination, giving rise to new plant. Sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction involves the union of two specialized reproductive cells called sex cell, alternatively referred to as gametes or germ cells. There are two types, male gamete and female gamete. The fusion of the male gamete with a female gamete results in the formation of a zygote cell, which subsequently develop into a new organism. The union of male gamete of a female gamete leads to the formation of zygote cell, which subsequently develop into a new organism. So when male sperm and female egg they meet together, they form zygote, and they further create embryo, and from embryo a baby develops. Sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Angiosperms or flowering plants are characterized by sex organ in their flowers with seed enclosed within fruits. These plants exhibit a variety of reproductive structure. Bisexual flowers contain both male and female reproductive organs with the same flower. In contrast, unisexual flowers have either male or female reproductive parts within a single flower. Stamen, anther, and carpel. The stamen is the male part of the flower responsible for reproduction. A single flower can have several stamens. Anther. The anther is a two-lobed structure located at the tip of the stamen. It contains two pollen sacs producing yellowish pollen grains. The carpel is the female reproductive part located at the center of the flower. Here is a diagram of flower. It consists mainly of three parts: stigma, style, ovary. The stigma is the terminal part of the carpel and may be sticky. It plays a role in receiving pollen grain during pollination. Number 2, style. The style is the elongated middle part of the carpel. It aids in connecting the stigma to the ovary. The ovary is the swollen bottom part of the carpel. It contains ovules that house the egg cell, the female gamete. Pollination. Pollination is the transfer of pollen grain from the anther of the stamen to the stigma of the flower. Self-pollination. In self-pollination, pollen from the stamen of the flower is transferred to the stigma of the same flower. Cross-pollination. Cross-pollination involves the transfer of pollen from the stamen of one flower to the stigma of the different flower. Fertilization. In following pollination, fertilization occurs in plant involving the fusion of male germ cell with female gametes, forming a zygote. Upon landing on a suitable stigma, pollen reaches the female germ cell in the ovary through a pollen tube, growing from the pollen grain, traveling through the style and reaching the ovary. After fertilization, the zygote undergo multiple division, forming an embryo within the ovule. The ovule develop a sturdy coat and transform into a seed. The ovary enlarge and mature into a fruit. The seed contain a future embryo. Under favorable condition, grows into a seedling in a process called germination. Sexual reproduction in human being. Puberty. Puberty is the stage when sex hormones are reproduced, marking the sexual maturity of a boy and a girl. Age of puberty for boys is 3 to 14 years and girl is 10 to 12 years. Sex hormones. Testes produce the male sex hormone testosterone. Ovaries produce the female sex hormone estrogen and estrogen. Progesterone. Common changes in both genders during puberty. Growth of thick, darker hair in new body parts like armpits and the genital area. Thickening of the hair on arms, legs, and face. Skin become oily with the development of pimples. Changes in girls, increasing in breast size, darkening of the nipple tips, onset of menstruation. Male reproductive system. Testis. The testis is responsible for the reproduction of germ cell or sperm. It is situated outside the abdominal cavity within the scrotum. Is positioning essential for sperm forming as it necessitates a lower temperature than the body normal operating temperature. Vas deferens. The vas deferens transport the formed sperm which combine with a tube originating from the urinary bladder. Urethra. The urethra is a duct that convey urine from the bladder and serve as a passage for semen in males. Prostate gland and seminal vesicle. It secretes fluids to make transport easier for the sperm. These fluids also provide nutrition. Scrotum. The scrotum is a small pouch housing the testis located outside the abdominal cavity. Because sperm formation occurs here a small temperature than the body normal temperature necessary for this process. Penis. The penis is the external male reproductive agent organ that transforms sperm into a female vagina during copulation. Female reproductive system. Ovaries. Paired oval-shaped organs are located in the abdominal cavity near the kidney. It produces thousands of ova or an egg cell and secretes the female sex hormone like estrogen and progesterone. Oviduct or fallopian tube. The oviduct, also known as the fallopian tube, transport egg from the ovary to the uterus. It serves as the site of the fertilization and features a funnel-shaped opening near the ovary with additional opening connecting to the uterus or both sides. Uterus or womb. A hollow pear-shaped bag-like structure where the growth and the development of fetus take place. Vagina. It relieves stem from the male partners and serve as a birth canal. Cervix. Lower and narrower portion of the uterus which open into the vagina. Fertilization or sexual reproduction in animals. Sperm and ovum production. Male parent produce sperm and female parent produce ovum. Fertilization process. During copulation, sperm enter the ovum and fertilization occurs resulting in the formation of first cell known as zygote. Embryo formation. The zygote undergo various division to form an embryo. Implantation. The embryo embeds itself into the soft and thick lining of the uterus. This process is known as implantation. Placenta development. During pregnancy, the placenta grows into a disc between the uterine wall and the embryo. The placenta forms finger-like projection called villi towards the embryo. Child development. The development of the child inside the mother's body takes approximately 9 months in human. Childbirth process. Strong rhythmic muscular contraction in the uterus cause childbirth if egg is not fertilized. Unfertilized egg outcome. If the egg is not fertilized, menstruation occurs. Menstruation. Each month, the ovary releases a single egg, promoting the uterus to prepare itself for the potential arrival of a fertilized egg. These preparations involve the thickening and spongy formation of the uterine lining. If the released egg remain unfertilized, its lifespan is approximately 1 day. In the absence of fertilization, the thickened uterine lining is deemed unnecessary. Consequently, the lining gradually breaks down and is expelled through the vagina as a combination of blood and mucus. This natural process, known as menstruation, reoccurs roughly every month and typically span a duration of 2 to 2 to 8 days. Birth control. Some contraceptive or birth control method. Number 1, barrier method. Condoms, thin covering worn on the penis or inside the vagina to prevent sperm from reaching the egg. Number 2, diaphragm, a dome-shaped device placed over the cervix to block sperm from entering the uterus. Number 2, hormonal method, birth control pills. Pills taken by women daily to prevent ovulation, release of an egg. Contraceptive injections, hormone injected into the body to prevent ovulation for a few months. Contraceptive patches, patches worn by the skin that release hormones to prevent pregnancy. Intrauterine devices, IUD, copper IUD, a small device inserted into the uterus that releases copper to prevent sperm from fertilizing the egg. Hormonal IUD, similar to copper IUD but release hormone to prevent pregnancy. Surgical method, vasectomy, a surgical procedure for men where the tubes carrying sperm are cut or sealed. Tubotomy, tubal ligation, a surgical procedure for women where the fallopian tubes are cut or sealed to prevent egg from reaching the uterus. Health consequences of unprepared pregnancy. If a woman is not ready for pregnancy, it can negatively impact her physical and mental health. Sexually transmitted disease or STD. Disease transmitted through sexual contact are known as sexually transmitted disease. Example includes AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome, and genital warts, often caused by infection like gonorrhea. Importance of safe practices. Raising awareness about safe practice and preventive measure is crucial for safeguarding sexual health. Thank you so much. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel.